Hi, welcome to our webinar and thanks for joining. We are delighted to have you on this session. Good afternoon. My name is Erwin Casteels. I am on the Kerv commercial team and I head up sales for our membership solutions. I will kick off this webinar with a very quick introduction to Kerv and how we support membership organizations in addressing their key challenges. Followed by a live demo by my colleague Nathan Hawkins. He will demonstrate Kerv's tailored Microsoft solution, Membership Accelerate, built to address key challenges faced by membership organizations. After his demo, we will be joined by Paul Nabucco, Senior Project Delivery Manager at the Royal College of Occupational Therapists, one of our customers in the membership space. Paul will give us an overview of his collaboration with Kerv, highlighting their journey through the catalyst planning phase of their digital transformation project. I'm really happy to be joined by Paul, Nathan and Sam in this session. The Q&A is enabled, so if you have any questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat and we'll pick those up at the end of the webinar. Now, Kerv Digital. Kerv Digital is part of the Kerv Group, a dynamic and innovative collective dedicated to transforming the digital landscape. We specialize in delivering cutting-edge technology solutions that empower businesses to thrive in an ever-evolving digital world. Our expertise spans across cloud services, digital transformation, managed services, cybersecurity, and we are ensuring that our clients are always ahead and stay ahead. Kerv Digital sits within this group structure as the specialist in digital transformation and the Microsoft part of the business. Under the Kerv Group umbrella, Kerv Digital has grown to a team of approximately 450 people. As I'm sure you would expect, we are a highly trusted partner for Microsoft. We focus from a technology point of view on the Microsoft Power Platform, which is the Microsoft low-code platform, and Dynamics 365, which is what we're going to be talking about today. We're one of the few Microsoft partners in the UK who can deliver the entire Dynamics 365 stack. Finance and supply chain management, Business Central, and Dynamics 365 customer engagement, or CRM. Our goal is to create products that users not only use, but love, assuring a high return on investment for our clients. We work across a range of core industries, including transport, central government, financial services, and in the not-for-profit and professional membership sectors. We simply love the membership sector, and we are a proud sponsor of the MemberWise network as well as Memcom, who awarded us the Agency of the Year award in 2023. Now let's face it, membership organizations in this day and age face many digital challenges. One must provide services online. The pandemic has accelerated the need for digital transformation rapidly. Improving data management and benefiting from the often large amount of data that is already present within the organization can be achieved by eliminating silos, be it by implementing one single source of truth, like Dynamics 365, or by using a modern data platform like Microsoft Fabric that brings all your data together on one cloud platform. Engaged members stick around longer, drive referrals, and increase revenue. Engagement is the lifeline of membership organizations. And last but not least, the expectations of digital natives coming into the business. This generation expects mobile first, the use of AI co-pilots, and above all, modern interfaces and user friendliness. And in order to deal with those challenges, today's membership organizations need a future-proof software platform. This is where the Kerv Membership Accelerate product comes in. It runs in the Microsoft Azure cloud and it integrates with Dynamics 365 and the Power Platform. We have built a strong membership foundation module, which can be enhanced with specific accelerators such as events, renewals, income management, and more. And of course, we can always customize the solution by developing bespoke features for specific demands and requirements. And I will now hand over to my colleague Nathan Hawkins, Solution Director, Kerv Digital. He will demonstrate Kerv's tailored Microsoft solution, Membership Accelerate, built to address key challenges. Nathan will showcase how cutting-edge Microsoft tools like Customer Insights, Events, and Copilot AI can elevate customer experience, increase member engagement, and streamline operations through automation. Nathan, the stage is yours.
Thanks, Erwin. Hi, everyone. I'm Nathan Hawkins. I'm a pre-sales solution architect here at Kerv Digital. And it's my job to get involved with potential customers or existing customers to try and look at issues they're facing within their organization and how we can use technology to help resolve those issues. So I'm going to do a bit of a demonstration across both our accelerators and Dynamics in the Power Platform. It's going to be a bit of a whistle-stop tour. There's lots to get through. And so I'm really just going to scratch the surface of what's possible with the solutions that we build and deploy. I just wanted to kind of just highlight a couple of things, though, on why we've done these accelerators, which I think is really important. So this slide here basically is trying to articulate that there are potentially three options when you're looking to do a digital transformation within your organization. You can build from scratch, which is obviously a risky and potentially an expensive way to go. So, you can design your own software, you can get a team of people to build it. And yes, it could be potentially a really nice tailor fit for your business, but there are lots of risks around that, so the cost is going to be expensive because you are starting from a blank canvas. A lot of the times we see that the people that build these systems can potentially move on from organizations, and so you lose the knowledge of how that system actually works and is used, and you kind of prevent it from being developed further. The second option is to buy off the shelf. So we can go to an existing product vendor, buy their solution and work with that. That itself can bring difficulties. So for instance, if you want to change something in the product, you're usually kind of limited. Yes, the vendor might say, okay, we'll introduce a feature in 6 months, a year's time, but you might need that now, and you're limited if you're going with that kind of off the product offering. Also, you are locked in that vendor. So again, we've come across situations where unfortunately a vendor has gone out of business and people are stuck on software that they can no longer develop or is no longer supported, and that can lead to its own issues. So what we try to do is fit somewhere in the middle. We choose a great platform to build a product on, a Power Platform, which I'll talk a bit more in a minute about. And then we bring what we call accelerators to the table to make the development of the solution for your organization a lot quicker and a lot more risk-free. That involves kind of bringing almost Lego blocks where we have specific bits of functionality that we can join together to make a membership solution work for your organization. So these are tried and tested components that we have used in previous projects. We know they're robust, we know they're risk-free because they are in live use by other organizations. And what that means is we can bolt these bits together really quickly, which means you get a solution delivered in a smaller time frame than going from a build from scratch, but it does have all the flexibility that you might need to be able to do those little tweaks and changes for your organization to make it fit what you want it to do. So that's kind of the concept of accelerators. Just want to talk a little bit about the Power Platform because again, there may be people on the call who are familiar with that, there may not be. So just an overview of that. The platform we build this on is called the Power Platform. It's a Microsoft product. Microsoft build their own applications on top of the Power Platform, so it is a very reliable, robust, scalable platform. And that's really important. We don't have to worry about, will this solution work for 5 users and will it work for 1 million users? Microsoft takes care of that aspect for us, so we know that the platform's going to work however we choose to use it. There's a bunch of things in there on this slide that come with that platform. So, we've got things like Copilot, which is the latest buzzword, which I'm sure everyone knows about. That's the ability to kind of interrogate data, automate kind of questions and answers, and decide how you can use that data and, how you might want to respond to people's queries and things like that. We've got Power BI, which is kind of the reporting aspect to get insights and all the reporting you need. Then we've got the ability to build applications, so user interfaces to kind of use that data that comes with Power Apps, and then Power Automate is a workflow management tool. that allows you to automate business processes, etc. So this is the core that we use to build our accelerators on. And the benefit of that is we've got, like I say, all that flexibility, all that reliability, but we are not the only partner that works with Microsoft, and that's an important thing. So we build these products, but you're not going to get that vendor lock-in. If for some reason, we as Kerv Digital go away, there are many other Microsoft partners who understand this technology and can work with it. And so you've got the fail-safe that you're always going to be able to move forward with this platform, and the accelerator products that we provide. Okay, so I'm going to hop over now to just a whistle-stop tour of everything we have. So the first thing I want to start with is probably the portal. So I've got my kind of supporter or member hat on here. We have a portal here that is a framework for you to develop your own portal. It's got lots of components that we can bring together to make a portal experience that's relevant for your members. It does all the standard things that you'd expect. So I'm going to hit login just to get into the portal, so people can register for the portal. They can log in and they can start managing different aspects of their membership. So again, without going into massive amounts of detail, I just want to do the whistle-stop tour. Got the ability to manage your profile. That means different things for different organisations. So a commercial membership organisation or a professional membership organisation is probably going to have slightly different needs to, for instance, a charitable organisation. So we can tailor what information they're allowed to manage within this profile page. So whether it's from things like your personal details, your contact points, qualifications, any employment details you have, and even things like membership renewals, and any declarations that might be in relation to the professional bodies you're a member of. This can be tailored and configured, so this is all configurable. So if there are bits on here that you don't think are relevant to your particular organisation, we can hide those out. And we can even manage the visibility of these based on the person logged in, so you can have essentially different personas within the portal as well, that different people see slightly different things. We've got things like the ability to applications. So, if you want to apply to be a member, whether that's from a kind of organisation level or individual level, we've got the ability to do applications within the system as well. And again, this is all configurable. So a lot of this can be configured through a configuration engine we have. So you don't need to be able to write code to do this. You can do this from within an admin area of the system. So it's easy to kind of maintain and to set up, etc. So on here, if I just hit start application, this loads up a multi-step form. And again, this is a great piece of kit. This again is a configurable way to define forms within your system. So here I've got kind of 5 sections. Each of the sections have got varying amounts of different information we're trying to capture. And again, this is totally configurable. So you can put in your own data capture requirements here. You can manage the flow down here of what people need to actually input, whether that's actual data or it could be documents, photos, evidence, that kind of thing. So we can guide people through here to make their applications. And there are some other things we've got as well. For instance, we can kind of manage invoices and payments. So if you're a membership organisation that has annual fees and things like that, then that could be managed through the portal. People can go there, select what they need to pay, and use things like PayPal, credit card payments, that sort of thing, to be able to fulfill those. And we've even got things like event registration as well. So if you're an organisation that does lots of events, then you can surface those on this portal and allow people to register for those events, get their tickets, pay for them, manage who's attending and things like dietary requirements, etc. That's all within this portal framework. So the great thing about this portal is it hooks into the Power Platform and Dynamics automatically. So we've taken care of that bit of communication between the two, but it's also a really scalable portal. So again, we've built this from our experience, and we don't just have experience with membership organisations. We work with really big kind of public sector organisations as well, such as the DVSA. So we take our learnings from those engagements about how to build scalable, reliable solutions, and we bring those to these accelerators to make sure things like this portal are a really great piece of kit to use. So this portal, like I say, is based on Dynamics and the Power Platform. So if I was to flip to kind of the back end view now, the administrative view, this is kind of what people within the organization would now see. So they'll be seeing things coming through from that portal, whether it's applications, event registrations, someone making a payment, that kind of thing. And it basically is designed to kind of hopefully streamline the way people work. So it gives them all the information that's relevant to their role. Again, these views and the information on them can be configured based on a person's role. So, you know, a finance person might see something slightly different to a marketing person, and the information they see as well, we can kind of, you know, if there are particular pieces of sensitive information, we can hide those from certain users, etc. So there's lots of flexibility within here that you just get out of the box, and we've built on that to try and make the back end of that portal really useful. So again, just a whistle stop tour around here. If I just look at how an application comes in, when a new application comes in, it gets created as a record in here. We can have that notifying people that, hey, new applications have been received from the portal, and then people can go in and look at that application and just see what's happening with it. So we've got the ability to define kind of a life cycle that an application would go through. This is really important. We can set the stage gates that it goes through. We can make sure that if there's any particular processes that need to be adhered to or information captured at those stages, that we enforce that. And what that means is every application goes through the same process, gathering the same information, and everything's consistent. And that means that we kind of reduce mistakes, make sure that we capture information that's going to be useful to us at the relevant points, whether that is for regulatory needs or whether it's for marketing, that kind of thing. So we create this interface that allows you to capture that information. We can define the steps it goes through, and these steps can be owned by different individuals within the business. So again, that means that only certain people can authorize the parts they need to, and only at the end of everybody authorizing everything will that application be approved or rejected. Okay, so there's lots we could talk about on here, but I want to focus more on some of the actual useful parts that kind of are going to help people in the day-to-day jobs. So if I move away just from this kind of application processing role, I want to hop over to more of a kind of customer service role. So I'm asking questions, trying to find out and help people, our supporters or our members. So this is just a slightly different frame on the same set of data. So all these interfaces we're seeing are focusing on the actual same set of data. We're just surfacing them to people in slightly different ways to help them manage their job roles a bit better. I'm going to search for one of my contacts in here, open him up. And this is just going to give me an overview of this contact. So perhaps if this contact has called in with a query or something like that, then this is a kind of good starting point for me to look at that person's record and understand their interactions with our organisation, which is really important. So on here, we've got general information you'd expect to see about a contact, you know, first name, last name, who are they, where do they live, that kind of thing. But we've also got some really good pieces of kind of summary information, which can be very useful if you are dealing with someone you've never spoken to before, you're not familiar with. So first of all, we've got this timeline, which basically shows all the interactions we've had with this person over a period of time. Now, this obviously could be quite short. If they're new, it could be really big if they've been with us for a while. And it logs things like phone call conversations, email conversations. We've got kind of web chat conversations that are in here. They're all logged, and I can drill into the detail of those. But a great thing I've got here is Copilot. So Copilot is got to be something you've heard of by now, because it keeps getting talked about everywhere. And it's basically that artificial intelligence tool that allows us to kind of automate some aspects of our jobs. And in this case, it's providing me highlights from this timeline. Not a particularly interesting customer, if I'm honest. It's just basically saying we have been through and we have made a few inbound and outbound calls, and this particular person has actually requested a private view of the crown jewels. So it gives me a summary of key points. So you can imagine that's really useful if perhaps there is a person who calls in regular with the same query. There's a person who has got outstanding complaints. There's a person who's got maybe outstanding payments against their membership fees and subscriptions, that kind of thing. It will highlight those really quickly, which just allows you to kind of make sure that how you're talking to them and the way you're trying to respond to their queries is just enhanced by that extra information. So, for instance, we have some membership organisations where they might get a complaint in, but the same person has got a wedding booked in 6 months at one of their venues. So having that information in one place is really useful to make sure you manage that customer's expectations while you're on the phone to them. Another great piece of information on the right-hand side here is just a summary of this person's membership. So in this instance, what we're doing is logging all the interactions that they've had with us, and we can actually use that. So for instance, we can see here that they've visited 7 of our sites in the past year, they've purchased some things off the web, they've been to some of our restaurants at our sites, and they've actually donated to us. Gathering all this information together across all of our supporters or members can allow us then to build data models to understand how those people are interacting with us and the likelihood of them to keep interacting with us. So this is something called a propensity model, which basically is trying to look at people's behaviours, comparing those to other people's behaviours. So what we can do is we can take all this information here and compare it to other people within the organisation or other members or supporters and see how they might act in relation to those other members. So for instance, in here, if I just click this button here, what's the likelihood of this person renewing? It can go off and interrogate the data, and it says, yeah, they're likely to renew their membership, and it's given me kind of a confidence score of that between 0 and 1. Now that basically is looking at all other members who've got similar metrics to that, and have those people renewed in the past or have they not renewed, and that kind of thing. And it's just giving us that information at the tip of our fingers, which is really useful. So if we're talking to this person on the phone, we can quickly kind of gauge that, see are they going to be likely renewing or not, and then we can maybe action that now. We could go straight into a renewal post with that person. Now, obviously, this is in context to an organisation that probably is more of a charitable organisation, that thing, but same concepts can apply to different metrics across organisations as well. So we could look at what you'd like to get out of that model and tailor that to give you similar information. Is this person going to renew? Is this person likely to be interested in a different product? Might this person want to visit a specific event we're holding? We can kind of tailor that however we need it to. Okay, so moving on then from that, I'm going to hop over to probably something called customer insights. So once we get all the information within the system, we're capturing it in a consistent manner, and we're keeping it all in this one database that the organisation can use. We can start actually doing some clever stuff with that. So one of the other parts of this solution is something called customer insight journeys, which is essentially a kind of marketing tool, but it's a very clever marketing tool. It allows us to do lots of things. So for instance, I can pull in all the contacts that I've got in my system, so those could be supporters, members, and I can interrogate bits of data surrounding them to try and build lists of people that I might want to try and market to, and that could be, again, things like get them to an event, subscribe to a newsletter, get them to purchase further products, that kind of thing. And this is all within this customer insight journey application, which has got some great interfaces. So if I just hit, I want to create a new segment. So what is a segment? Well, it's a group of people that is defined by some sort of metrics, and that can be as simple or as complex as you want it to be. So I'm just going to create a list here, a new segment. Now I can do this in 2 ways. I can actually manually configure the data, which I'll show you in a sec, or there is actually the ability, again, to use Copilot to help me build a segment. So for instance, I could go, okay, give me everyone who lives in London, who has donated in the last 6 months. It would kind of create that segment for me. And then I could use that as a starting point for a marketing campaign to get people to attend a new event I've got in London next month, that kind of thing. I'm just going to skip over the create query bit. I'm just going to do it manually. So I'm just going to add a group, and it allows me to pick fields from pretty much any entity within the system. So any piece of data I've got stored within the system, I can grab some values from that and start building up this group of people based on those values. I'm going to keep this really super simple. I'm just going to say, okay, give me all contacts use city. So let's go to search for it. So address one city. I'm going to add that in here, and there's lots of options, you know. So I can do a city is equal to something, it's not equal to something, contains a particular value, begins with a particular value. So everything that you're used to seeing in kind of when you're filtering with Excel or similar Microsoft tools, you can do. So I'm just going to go anybody who lives in London, basically. I can build this up. I can add this up and add loads of fields and make it really complex. I can look at not only person data, but maybe the accounts that are related to them, or maybe their engagements that are with us, you know, or people who have sent an email with this particular value in. We can do that kind of thing. But just in the kind of the time constraints we've got, I'm just going to keep this really simple and just put that one piece of criteria in. So if I save that, it'll create it, and I'm just going to hit it ready to use, and it activates that now. And so basically this now becomes a starting point for a journey. Okay, so that's great. So that's in there now. I've created that. I can look at it, and it'll show me kind of all the members that are in there. And if this wasn't a new segment I've created, it would show me kind of interactions that have happened within this segment as well. But I can use this on the journey now, which is great. So I can start kind of interacting with these people based on, again, any particular action that happens within the system. So if you imagine someone creates a new application within the portal, I can start interacting with this group of people. Someone doesn't pay their membership fee, I can start interacting with that people. I can have that someone is, you know, has attended an event, let's start an interaction with them. So if I create a new journey now, a journey is a series of things that a person is going to go through. So if you imagine that someone has perhaps attended an event, then you might create a journey to start sending them some emails about that event. You know, what did you think of it? Maybe a survey about the event. Maybe you would start sending them some emails about particular products or new services you're offering. You'll build that up within a journey. So I'm going to start creating one, and again, we're in the Copilot territory, so we can actually create these journeys with Copilot if we want to. I could describe something out of the box, or I can, you know, look at suggestions that Copilot's given me. So I'm just going to click on the suggestion for now, and based on that suggestion we've put in, it's going to build me up a journey, an example journey. I'm going to choose a segment, so let's choose that one that I just created. Okay, add that in. And so what it's done is it says, okay, I've looked at what you've typed. So I asked, you know, could I have a professional email targeting loyalty members follow up if that email is opened and a link clicked? And it's put together kind of the steps that it thinks it should do. So we're going to start the journey with that group of people that I've already defined within that segment. I'm going to send them an email, and if the email is clicked, it does one thing or it does another. So I'm happy with that. I'm going to hit create, and that just builds it for me. So I haven't actually had to do anything here. I mean, you could add in your steps manually, which actually itself is a nice interface to use, but I've actually used Copilot there to build that journey on my behalf. It's putting what it thinks are the right metrics. I'm happy with that, and I can add to that now as well, which is great. So I can do things like, okay, let's select the email I want to send. So I'm going to send a particular email here. It gives me a preview of that. I can send it. Again, there's a whole other area of the system where you can build emails, etc. And I can keep adding to this. So if I'm happy with that email, it's going to go down here. If someone opens that email and hit the link in it, I can add another step. If someone doesn't hit the link in it, I could add a different step. So if they don't click it, maybe I send a follow-up email a week later. If they do click it, maybe I send them a text message, something like that. So we can build up these quite complex journeys really simply within the system. And then when I hit publish on this journey and it starts going off and starting a journey for each of the members within the segment, then we can look at the analytics as well. So all through this, we'll be gathering analytics about were the emails delivered, did the emails bounce, did they open the email, had they gone off and hit and unsubscribe, etc., that kind of thing, which is really important. You can gather lots of information and then again use that to start building better journeys to interact with supporters and members. Okay, so in the interest of time, I think I'm going to end my part there and hand back to you, Erwin. But yeah, happy to take questions later in the chat if anybody does have any.
Owen, you just need to come off mute. Sorry, I think you're on mute there.
Thank you very much, Nathan. That was an outstanding demo. I particularly like the part where you showed us the dashboard views on the membership card, and also where you created specific journeys for members that can be analyzed afterwards. That was really, really interesting. Now, Catalyst. What is Catalyst? Catalyst is not a product. Catalyst is a methodology developed by Microsoft and used by Kerv to help set your program up for success. It's an envisioning and planning program that employs Microsoft Dynamics 365, Power Platform, and the Microsoft Cloud. We all know that technology is sort of easy to change. It's much more difficult to change people. We try to achieve that optimum result by looking at three different areas. We look at the viability for your business or your membership organization. We look at the technical possibilities. But last and not least, we look at desirability. How does it affect user experience, both internally from people within your organization and externally from your members? The outcome of a Catalyst workshop is an actionable plan that aligns with your digital strategy, needs, and desires. And I will now hand over to Paul Bucco from the Royal College of Occupational Therapists, who will give a short overview of their collaboration with Kerv, highlighting their journey through the Catalyst planning phase of their digital transformation project. Over to you, Paul.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the introduction. I appreciate it, and thank you guys for having me here. I'm very pleased to be joining this. So I'll start off. Hi, everyone. My name is Paul Bucco. I'm a senior delivery partner here at the Royal College of Occupational Therapy. And for those who may not be aware of who we are, the Royal College has been championing the life-changing power of occupational therapy for over 90 years. We're now a thriving community with over more than 36,000 members, all working towards a singular vision where everyone values the transformative role of occupational therapy. To support this vision, we strive to raise the profile of the profession, attract new people to the profession, and ensure that those who need our services receive the vital therapy they deserve. Now, I've had the pleasure of working with Kerv Digital for over a year now. Our journey started back in September 2023. And when I say the pleasure, I mean, it really is the pleasure, because before Kerv came into our lives, things been thriving exactly in our CRM world, to be honest with you. But to give you some background, I'm going to take you back to 2020. In 2020, we brought in an organization to implement Microsoft Dynamics for us. And this was meant to be a big transformative change for us. We wanted this system with all the bells, all the whistles. We fast forward to 2023, and well, those bells were out of tune and the whistles were a bit broken. No, but seriously, the system did not work as intended at all. We experienced a lot of bugs, a lot of issues. I mean, you name it, we had them. In fact, we had so many issues that we made the decision to turn off a lot of the workflows and a lot of the automations we had, revert into manual processes. So yes, the very thing the system was supposed to save us from, we had to revert back to due to the failed technology. So at this point, we had made the decision that we had to have change, something had to change. So a digital transformation was required, and a new partner was needed to support us on this. It was mandatory, and we had to do something about it. And that is where Kerv Digital came in. So we procured Kerv Digital with three clear objectives. The first being complete an audit of our current CRM. The one that was supposed to work but didn't, with the aim of understanding what are some of the issues that we have, and also asking them to put forward a recommendation for technical and data improvements. So this could be around things like our integrations to other systems, such as our member portal, processes improvements, such as our payments and refunds. We had the second objective, which was to review our existing support arrangements with our previous partner and recommend improvements and changes where they saw required, in line with best practices and industry standards. The final objective we set them, was to create and develop a roadmap that was in line with our vision and digital transformation ambitions as an organization. So this audit was extensive. It covered everything from data structures to integrations to security to user experience. I mean, you name it, anything, everything under the hood they looked at. I mean, we looked at licenses, and it turns out we weren't even using some of the licenses that we needed. So it was a fantastic job by Kerv, and they uncovered some incredible information for us. But that wasn't just it. It wasn't just about identifying the problems. It was also about designing the right solution. And that is where the Kerv Catalyst methodology came into play. With the Kerv Catalyst, the Catalyst allowed us to create a clear program with a long-term vision and roadmap by first guiding us, an organization, to vision our future state, understanding what are the improvements that we wanted to make, where are our pain points, and how can we improve these. It then worked very closely with the team to redesign our existing processes and user journeys, and then through interactive demonstrations, they then demonstrated this organization and empowered everyone. Those people who, we had people who had been for the first implementation, so a bit worried, didn't have trust issues, but basically I weren't sure exactly if this new change was going to be successful. But through the interactive demonstrations, the hard work in these workshops, they empowered every organization to fully grasp the value of this new digital transformation when done correctly. Finally, they laid out a comprehensive roadmap that showed indicative costs and gave us a clear path forward with real measurable outcomes that we could target and aim for. So fast forward now to May 2024 of last year, a couple months ago, we successfully decided to have Kerv to deliver and implement our shiny new CRM system using the Innovate Accelerator, and we haven't looked back since. We're currently in the middle of delivering a successful implementation. I'm very excited for the outcome of it. So people ask, why should you work with Kerv? From our perspective, there are three main reasons that I work with Kerv. The first reason is the tech. I mean, they're ahead of the curve, pun intended. No, but seriously, they're ahead of the curve. The technical expertise is second to none. They're always bringing us innovative solutions that are perfect for our membership organizations. But at the same time, they also have the wisdom to know when to hold back and when to understand that we're not ready for those kind of innovations. But again, they're always there, taking us on the journey with us and making sure that they're with us every step of the way. The second reason is the people. I mean, honestly, for me, one of the best things is the people of Kerv. They're very special, they're talented, friendly, and genuinely care about the success of you and your organization. And I've truly worked with some brilliant minds that are there at Kerv. The collaborative spirit that they bring to the table is one of the best things and is what made us have such a successful strategic partnership with them. And then the third main thing is the transparency. I mean, like I said, we had a previous experience with a partner, and it's refreshing to see a company that's really honest. They don't recommend things or upgrades or systems or features or functionalities that aren't required. They're a critical friend when you need one, and they can challenge you in your organization when potentially doing things that aren't the most efficient either. And the big one is, we have full IP ownership of our solution, giving us independence from vendor lock-in. And for anyone who's been stuck in a system they can't get out of, you know how important that is. So in closing, I've enjoyed, and I know that everyone at Royal College has enjoyed our time looking at Kerv. It's been a fantastic experience, and we're looking forward to our long-term future with them. Thank you, Owen.
You're making us blush, Paul, and I don't think we need salespeople anymore after this.
It's all true.
You're making my job redundant, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'll hand over to Sam now for the Q&A part.
Thank you, Owen, and thank you, Paul, and thank you, Nathan, for that brilliant demo and lovely words there, Paul. Please do feel free to sort of add any more questions to the Q&A. We've got a couple that have come in here. So Andy's asking, what happens if our data is actually in a bit of a mess to begin with?
Okay, I'll take that one, Samantha. Yeah, so not uncommon at all. I think we'll find most projects we set up on data is one of the key things that we have to figure out. And obviously, it's a really important part. Everything we're doing on the platform is driven by the data, so we need to make sure we get that right first time. So at Kerv, we have lots of capabilities, lots of hats we can put on, and we have a great data team who can help look at the data and figure out what needs doing, if anything. So we've got kind of a standard approach to that, where we can interrogate your current data, figure out where there's data quality issues, there's data validation issues, and we can help to get that in shape if that's something you want us to do. We've done that for many organisations across massive data sets, and we can make sure that we're getting the data in the right format and the right quality into the Power Platform before we start using these tools. Once it's in there, it's a lot easier to maintain and put kind of the guardrails around to make sure that people are putting quality data in there to use in kind of all the good analytics and etc. We want to use it in further down the line. But yeah, we shouldn't worry about that too much. Hopefully we can figure that one out.
That's reassuring. Thanks, Nathan. Emma's asked, this might be one for you again, Nathan. How can we convince our senior team that using more AI is a good idea, as they're a bit fearful of the whole thing and concerned about data security?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. I think that's fair enough. There's two sides, isn't there, to AI at the minute? There's everybody wanting to use it to do everything, and yeah, there's people finding out things they shouldn't do as well on the other side. Again, really one of the reasons we've kind of picked this platform, the Power Platform and Dynamics, is it's got lots of great features to be able to make sure we can manage what data is being used and how it's being used. So we can implement, again, I'm going to use the term guardrails to make sure the data that is used within these services is only data that people could normally access for those kind of security roles that will have been assigned within the system. Likewise, we can lock things down so people can't manually move data around, and we can also make sure that data is held in the right place. So where there are lots of kind of regulatory and governance aspects to these things, such as we need to make sure the data isn't leaving the UK, that kind of thing that comes around through GDPR, etc. We can manage that within the system. So that there's lots of things we can put in place to make sure that there aren't any misuses of data within the system.
Sounds good. Thank you for that. We don't have any other new questions in at the moment, actually. So by all means, if anyone listening thinks of anything sort of after the session's ended and they want to get in touch and find out a bit more, then please do. Oh, we've got one that's just come in. What's the average time for migrating from a current CRM system to this solution?
That is a little bit more difficult to kind of say, how long a piece of string is really. It depends on what the solution is that you have. It depends on the volume of data. It depends on the complexity of data, and it depends on your knowledge as well. And is that existing vendor in the picture to be able to help us with the migration? So it's not really something we could just say off the top of our head. What we'd usually do at the start of an engagement is to do that kind of data assessment I talked about, which would include understanding, the shape of the data, complexity, the volumes, and then we'll be able to give a fairly accurate idea of the timeline and the cost involved in making that migration to the new system.
Okay. I think, just looking at the time, I don't want to encroach on anyone's lunch break, so I think we'll end it there. Erwin, I think there's one more slide. Just if anyone's interested in sort of finding out a bit more about what we do at Kerv and how we can kind of help with member engagement, member retention, and your general digital transformation journey, then please do keep in touch. We've got more events in the pipeline, which we'll be telling everyone about in the coming weeks. We've got a meetup in London where we'll be demoing our membership digital contact centre, which everyone is very welcome to join us at, and we will be having another webinar during November as well, looking more at the Microsoft Catalyst project, and please sign up for our membership newsletter as well. So yeah, just to say thank you to all of our speakers today, and thanks for everyone for joining us. We hope you found that useful. And
well, there is one more question just come in. Actually.
Right, sorry, one more question.
Sorry. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's there. It says, are there any Dynamics license prerequisites on there?
So yeah, I've shown you lots of things today across the platform, and each one of those does have a slightly different license implication. So again, it's not something really we could kind of just answer as a one-off we need to understand kind of your requirements a little bit more to figure out what is the best licensing to use. It is worth saying that we always kind of design with licenses in mind, so we're not just one of these organisations who wants to make the most money for Microsoft out of their licensing. We do look to be as economical as we can and use the most relevant license to what the requirement needs to try and help manage the cost of the solution over time. Okay.
Great, thank you for all the questions. And as I say, if you think of anything else after the session, then please email us and we can come back to you. We'll give you a quick call. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks from the team.